I've noticed something. The people who succeed in life, the ones who build real wealth and freedom, do things differently. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. I've studied this, I've tried it, and now I'm sharing it with you. Because if you apply these principles, everything can change. Don't get me wrong, it's not about luck or magic. It's about understanding what actually works. Step 1. Clarity. Know exactly what you want. One thing I've realized is that successful people aren't wandering around hoping things fall into place. They have a vision. They know exactly what they want, and they go after it with precision. At first, I thought goals were just dreams written down, but then I saw how clarity changes everything. The more specific you are, the more power you have. So ask yourself, what do you really want? Not what you're supposed to want. What drives you? Write it down. Make it real. What do you think happens when you get crystal clear on your goals? You move faster. You stop wasting time. You start winning. There's a guy I know, he used to work at a dead-end retail job, but deep down, he wanted to be a video editor. Instead of just wishing for it, he set a goal: to edit one video a day, no matter what. Within 6 months, he had a portfolio. Within a year, he was getting paid. What do you think would have happened if he had never gotten specific about his goal? Step 2. Mindset. Think like the wealthy. I used to believe success was about talent or background, but then I started paying attention and I saw that the most successful people think differently. They don't see problems, they see puzzles to solve. They don't say, "I can't do this." They ask, "How can I make this work?" That shift alone is powerful. I'm telling you, once you start training your mind to focus on solutions instead of roadblocks, you start seeing opportunities everywhere. Don't get me wrong, negative thoughts will still show up, but the key is not letting them control your actions. What do you think happens when you rewire your brain to seek solutions? You stop making excuses and start making progress. There was a woman I met who wanted to start a bakery but had no money for a shop. Instead of giving up, she started taking small catering orders from home. She built up customers, saved up, and now she owns a cafe. What do you think would have happened if she had said, "I can't afford it," and never started? Step 3. Discipline. Execution over motivation. Motivation is great, but it fades. What really separates people is discipline. I've noticed that high achievers stick to habits no matter what. They show up even when they don't feel like it. They trust the process, and over time, those small, disciplined actions stack up into something unstoppable. Don't get me wrong, there will be days when you don't feel like doing anything. But what do you think happens when you push through anyway? You build momentum. And momentum is everything. The question is, are you willing to put in the reps? Because if you are, the results will come. I know a guy who wanted to become a fitness coach. At first, he had 0 clients, but he committed to posting workout tips online every single day. No excuses. 6 months in, he started getting messages. A year later, he quit his job. What do you think would have happened if he had only worked when he felt motivated? Step 4. Leverage. Work smarter, not harder. For a long time, I thought hard work was everything. But then I saw how the wealthy operate. They don't just work hard, they work smart. They build systems. They invest in skills that multiply their efforts. They surround themselves with the right people. They use leverage, money, technology, knowledge to scale. Once I understood this, everything changed. Don't get me wrong, hard work is still necessary. But what do you think happens when you combine hard work with leverage? You achieve 10 times more in half the time. Ask yourself, where can you be more efficient? How can you multiply your results? There's a guy who used to spend hours and hours making designs by hand. Then he learned automation tools, built templates, and suddenly he could produce 10 times more in the same amount of time. His income skyrocketed. What do you think would have happened if he had stuck to doing things the slow way? Step 5. Risk and failure. Learning from losses. Here's something I wish I had learned sooner. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. The people at the top? They've failed more times than most people have tried. The difference is they don't stop. They analyze, adapt, and go again. Don't get me wrong, failure stings. But what do you think happens when you stop fearing failure and start embracing it? You become unstoppable. When I realized that every setback was actually teaching me something, I stopped being afraid of failure. You should too. I know someone who wanted to start a blog, but their first few posts flopped. Instead of quitting, they studied what worked, adjusted their content, and kept going. A year later, their blog was making money. What if they had quit after the first failure? What do you think would have happened? Step 6. Take massive action. No excuses. You see, I've given you the blueprint, but here's the truth. None of this matters if you don't act. The most successful people I've observed don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it. They move, they take risks, and that's what I want for you. So, start today. Take that first step and then take another. Don't get me wrong, it won't always be easy, but what do you think happens when you take consistent, massive action? Your future self is waiting. The question is, are you ready to make it happen? I didn't figure this out overnight, but once I did, it changed everything. And now I'm passing it on to you. If this hit home for you, don't just sit on it, use it. Share it with someone who needs it. And if you're serious about leveling up, stay connected, because the world doesn't wait for those who hesitate. It rewards those who move. Be the one who moves.